Over 300 million ringgit in profit. You pay out like over 50% as dividend, around 7%. 2.5 billion ringgit market cap. Why is DXN having such low investor visibility?
We are a listed company in Malaysia, but DXN is a global company. I would say for the investors in Malaysia, they have overlooked this company. Malaysians should feel very proud that we have one company taking care of distributors, like looking at growth and expansion. Business is growing and thriving. Private jet is mainly used as a marketing tool to motivate and inspire the market. Brazil, we just started a year ago. Now we have around 900 to 1,000% growth. These investors who had overlooked the stock and the company for this while, I'm sure they're going to come back to us.
Hi, Mr. Prajith.
Hello.
Well, DXN isn't your normal consumer business. It's a direct selling company with a twist. Could you share with us what is DXN's business model and what makes it so unique as a wellness company?
Thank you for asking. DXN is a global manufacturer of nutraceutical products that is into the distribution model of direct selling. Unlike many other direct selling companies, we are a B2C company. That means directly from the manufacturing to a consumer. You look at today's environment of direct selling, we have a lot of companies who are trading companies actually. DXN is a company that has been built over years. Today we are a vertically integrated business model. We have two large research facilities, one in India, one in Malaysia. We have 7 to 8 cultivation facilities located in 3 countries. We have today 14 manufacturing plants, and we have 82 sales branches in over 54 nations. And the business is spread out around in over 180 countries. So, unlike many other business models where they do source out their supplies from other companies and they engage another company to distribute, we are all in all. So we call ourselves as a one dragon company model. Our concept is one dragon company. That means right from the cultivation to the processing to the manufacturing to the distribution is all under one roof.
Right. Okay. So it is not just a Malaysian company, it's actually a global company.
It's a global company.
Just now you mentioned something called vertical integration. Could you explain what is vertical integration?
Yeah, right from the top to the bottom, top I would say research facilities, we do our own innovations set in place to come up with products, that is into biotech. And as a result, we are able to come up with various product lines. Today, we have over 596 products in our SKUs, ranging from personal care to dietary supplements to beverages to household products to lifestyle products we have. And now we have recently entered into ready to eat and ready to drink and ready to cook products as well. And along these lines, from the top research to the manufacturing to the distribution, it's all under vertically placed,
Right.
So that's a business model that we have been following all these years.
Okay, and just now you also mentioned your motto there. It's actually called One Dragon, One World, One Market, One Mind, right? It's a very motivating kind of motto, I would say, but how does having a single integrated system benefit your distributors and your consumers worldwide?
Oh, that's a very interesting question, In DXN, right from the very beginning, we have a system in place called the One World, One Market system. I mentioned about the One Dragon company, where we have vertically integrated model. But when you talk about the system, it's more of how we have a platform for distributors to expand the business worldwide. What is One World, One Market system? What does it signify? It means like a distributor, one single membership, he has the opportunity to expand his network throughout the world. For example, we have a distributor who joined in Malaysia. He has a membership code. He has some friends and families in Dubai. He has some people down in Indonesia. He can introduce the products of DXN in the respective countries. Okay. And once his family, friends and all tries our coffee in the respective countries, this member sitting back in Malaysia will receive multiple incomes coming. Okay. So we have a unified, integrated system to manage the payouts.
Okay, so let's say I have a family member who is residing in Dubai.
Yeah.
I can sell it to my friends and family over there, and you would the goods that they buy straight into Dubai?
No, we don't have to transport. We have our own sales branches in the respective nations.
Right. Okay, because you're a global company, so obviously you have distribution.
So I want you to look at DXN as a global company. Of course, we are a Malaysian-born company, but we are well present globally.
Yeah, so you're operating in so many companies, and you started in Malaysia. But I'm just surprised that your biggest market is not in Malaysia, but in places like Peru and also Mexico, these kind of places. Can you tell us about your international growth? How can a Malaysian company grow so big in places where it's not so familiar to us Malaysians?
Yeah, the answer to that is the system that we have and the product portfolio, that in this company. Now, a DXN was a company that was born in Malaysia. It was back in 1993. Started off in a very humble setup in Kedah, Malaysia. Since then, we have expanded to Indonesia, Thailand, India, Philippines, the Middle East, the Arab market, African markets. Then we entered into American region, starting from United States, and it expanded to Mexico, and then now South America. But today, if you look at the global business landscape of DXN, although Malaysia, we are among the top 10 markets of DXN group, but the major contributor of DXN would be some countries in Latin America, especially a country called Peru. It has a population similar to that of Malaysia. We have a country even smaller that is around 11 billion in population called Bolivia. That is a number 2 market. And then we have Mexico, and then we have Morocco, North African market. We have Philippines, we have India, we have Arab markets, especially Middle East, UAE, and the neighboring GCC countries. These are the major markets for DXN. One of the reasons why the business is spreading like wildfire in all these markets, especially, is because of the nature of the products. In DXN, the main product or the key product would be our coffee.
Okay.
And coffee, you do not need to talk much, You just need to serve your friends their coffee, let them try the coffee, let them feel the difference, let them get the aroma, and let them come back for more, So our coffee is a very unique coffee in the market. Of course, we all know about coffee. Coffee is one of the largest commodity in the world. But we try to make our coffee very unique coffee by adding a special ingredient called Ganoderma, which is very therapeutic, which has a lot of medicinal properties and nutritional properties. So that makes your coffee very special coffee. So we have wide varieties of coffees, like coffee with Ganoderma, we have coffee with cordyceps, we have coffee with lion's mane, coffee with spirulina, and all these are like nutritional beverage. So the world is moving towards health awareness. Today we have a lot of people actually, so they just don't want to try their coffee, but they want to try a healthy coffee, and that's where DXN comes in. The product is easy, the system is easy, and we made everything right from the bottom, from top to the bottom, very simple for people to understand and replicate it further.
Right. So Ganoderma mushroom, sometimes better known as lingzhi mushroom, right? It's also a popular medicine-ish kind of herbs in China as well. So is there a plan to actually penetrate into that huge market?
Oh, yes, of course. See, Ganoderma is considered as a herb, although it has a lot of nutritional, medicinal properties, but it's categorized as a herb actually. And according to the Chinese pharmacopoeia, Ganoderma is considered as a king of herbs among all the herbs. Why? Because it has the property to balance back your body and prevent your body. So it's basically used as a prevention. Ganoderma lingzhi has been considered and has been consumed by Chinese for ages, since more than 5,000 years. But the concept of Ganoderma or mushrooms or lingzhi, the rest of the world has been very ignorant. So since the last 30 years, the goal of our founder, Dr. Lim Seogen, is to bring this nutritional mushroom, medicinal mushroom to the world through a medium, through a platform which is easy to penetrate. Call it as a word of mouth marketing, It's not just you just put these products into the medicinal store and let the pharmacist talk about it. Rather, you use it and talk about the benefits to your friends, families, and let them try this and let them talk about more people. So that's something that he has explored, and that's why DXN is into the direct selling model. And today, because of which it is, the world knows about Ganoderma coffee. Today, if you just try to Google the Ganoderma coffee, you will find millions of pages out there that talks about a good Ganoderma coffee, benefits of Ganoderma, what is its implication on human health, and so on and so forth.
How does it going to go into China?
Oh, actually, Ganoderma does not need to go into China. Ganoderma is coming from China.
From China.
Yeah, to the rest of the world.
Correct. But how do you bring DXN into China using this very popular
of course.
Right.
That's another very interesting question, actually. We did set up our own manufacturing plants in China, and the factories and facilities in China is the largest facility we have in Ningxia, China. That's where we produce not just Ganoderma, but also other herbs like lion's mane, cordyceps. We do have our manufacturing footprint in China, but we are also looking at starting our marketing base in China. So we applied for licenses for China, and we are awaiting for the results as of now. So once we have the direct selling license, we'll be penetrating our market. Okay. Our members have been eagerly waiting, for DXN to enter China. So we are also working closely, with the authorities to make sure that we are able to penetrate business-wise into the country as well.
Coming soon?
Yeah, in the coming years, we should have some great news for China.
Cool. Well, I think DXN is a very, very interesting company. You have 2.5 billion ringgit market cap, which solidly put it under a mid-cap range, which means a lot of fund managers and institutional investors would want to look at this company.
Right.
You also make like over 300 million ringgit in profit, right? But the thing is, DXN is really under the radar for many investors. So in your opinion, why is DXN having such low investor visibility?
The main reason would be that we are a listed company in Malaysia, but if you look at DXN is a global company. Majority of the market presence that we have is in the global markets. And if you try to look at the business of DXN, I would say for the investors in Malaysia, I would say they have overlooked this company. In a sense, like, when they try to understand DXN, they look at DXN's presence overseas, and then they try to understand that DXN is a company present in exotic countries like Peru, Bolivia, and to Malaysian market, I mean, Peru and Bolivia is something that, not many of our Malaysian people are aware, But having said that, this is something that has been, it's a misconception to understand, that DXN, although in Peru and Bolivia, we have been steadfast, we have been very stable, we have a very sustainable growth all these years. When you talk about overseas markets, especially Latin America, Malaysians do understand about Brazil, they do understand about Argentina, they do understand about Chile. Now, these are the markets that we have just penetrated, and the business is doing wonderful. Brazil, we just started a year ago. Now we have around 900 to 1,000% growth, and last month was amazing actually. Argentina, we have started 6 months ago, and we have over 500% growth in sales. And Argentina right now is among the top 15 nations already within the last 6 months. So we sense the same pattern of growth in other Latin markets replicated in Argentina and Brazil. So these investors who had overlooked the stock and the company for this while, I'm sure they're going to come back to us. Right. Looking at the trajectory of DXN, looking at the stability and growth, looking at the initiatives that we have taken going forward. Last financial year, we had a PATAMI of 17.2%, and that is a growth of 8.6% from the preceding year. Look at any other direct selling companies, and I mean, many of the top direct selling companies, as you can see, many of them are publicly listed. So you can see the financial results, and the sales are dwindling for these companies, whereby we maintained a CAGR trajectory of 15.4% in the last 3 years. So the investors can closely follow all these things. Maybe it's an initial impression about what this company and where this company is doing. But looking at the trajectory, looking at the growth records of DXN, looking at the plans and programs that we have put in place, I'm sure all these investors are going to come back to us. We have a good dividend payout ratio also. Around last year, we paid around 56.1% as a dividend, and we have set a 50% payout ratio.
Yeah, which translates to around 7% dividend.
7%, which is pretty impressive.
Right. Correct. So just out of curiosity, because you have been continually penetrating into very exotic countries. So how do you actually do that? How does your first member appear in those markets?
Okay. It's what we call as organic growth in the business. Organic growth in a sense like you have come to know about the coffee and you're trying this coffee and you find some beautiful results out of the coffee. You introduce this coffee to your family, to your mom, to your brothers, to your siblings and all. And then you introduce it to your friends, and their friends have got some friends in other countries and they try to introduce it. So the consumer base is constantly increasing, and many of those consumers are also distributors. The expansion into America came from, you'll be surprised to hear this, expansion to America came from Indonesia.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So from Malaysia, we expanded to Indonesia. It's not us actually, the distributors expand. It's organic growth actually. They introduced to their friends and families, so expanded to Indonesia. And Indonesia, they have got friends and families in the United States, and they expanded the concept to United States. Then we set up the business over there, and from USA, it went down south through word of mouth. So this is a very organic, very stable growth pattern that we have been following all these years. And as a result, today we have crossed over 20 million distributors in the business already.
Wow. Okay. Well, business you're doing great, but like you mentioned, it's really overlooked by investors.
Yes.
So much so that I think your PE valuation is only around 8 times.
8 times. Yeah.
But do you also think that it's also there's a stigma around these investors that because DXN is a direct selling company and somehow people don't value direct selling company too high.
Now this is a reflection of overlooked perception, from the market actually. Now direct selling, you take a look at direct selling industry. Worldwide, the direct selling industry has crossed $170 billion. Take a look at Malaysian direct selling industry. It has crossed $34.4 billion last 2024. That is a growth of around 7.4% growth. If you take a look at the top performing countries in this industry, let's start with USA, the number one direct selling country. Number two is China. Then comes Brazil. Then comes Japan. Then comes South Korea. Then comes Germany. And then comes Malaysia. So Malaysia is one of the top direct selling market in the world. Right? Meaning to say, like, there are a lot of Malaysians, significant population of the country are consuming and using products coming out of direct selling. If you take a look at direct selling, what do the direct sellers look at actually? Basically the market, distributors. They look at the right company, a good company. And how do you determine a good direct selling company? A good direct selling company is a company that has good products, viable products, fast moving products. They look at a system that is sustainable, that is achievable, that is growth oriented, and a company that is looking and taking care of distributors and taking care of the growth and expansion of distributors, expansion of the company. If you compare DXN with any other direct selling companies, Malaysians should feel very proud that we have one company that, unlike its peers, that is taking care of distributors, like looking at growth and expansion, that is coming up with innovative products every year, and business is growing and thriving. Even during, despite the economic headwinds, we have reported a growth, a profit, for our distributors. So all in all, this is how people need to look at DXN. So that's why I always say in Malaysia, it's highly overlooked,
I would have to agree.
And that's when you will have a lot of investors coming in and try to embrace it.
Yes, I would have to agree, because you have 20 million distributors worldwide.
That's a 12% growth compared to the previous year.
Right. Okay. There's also some headlines that might spook investors, right? Especially the ones where there's the news saying that DXN is chartering a private jet from Dato'.
Yeah.
And that raised eyebrows, like, hey, why are you doing these related party transactions and all that? And subsequently to the news, we saw some big investors actually trim their stakes in the company. How do you address this issue?
Okay. Actually, again, I would say it's a misconception. No? When you talk about private jet or an aircraft in a direct selling company, direct selling business, people should understand that it is not a luxury statement for the company. I have hardly flown this private jet.
Then why do you buy it for?
I take commercial jets, Okay. When I come from United States here, I travel around, I take commercial jets. Private jet is mainly used as a marketing tool to grow our business. How do we use a marketing tool is basically to motivate and inspire the market, inspire the distributors. Now, we have taken some good exercise about this private jet in Middle East, in the Arab market, in Africa, Latin America, in Asia, to fly our top performers in this private jet. Top performers, meaning to say, like, we have people who have achieved the level of Crown Ambassador. Crown Ambassador is a top level in this company, and we have around 73 Crown Ambassadors around the world. And we have taken this exercise as to fly these people just to motivate the next line of distributors and inspire them to achieve the level of Crown Ambassador. So it's a statement that if you are a Crown Ambassador, you get this free lifestyle, that's a thing. And that has actually translated to revenue, that has actually translated to growth. Although it's too early to really analyze the growth stages, but still, we chartered this aircraft in November. All right. Of course, we went through all the due diligence, and we had this third-party evaluation and everything, and we came out with a conclusion that this is the best option. If you want to charter, charter from there. This is the best rate and everything, the best price. So since then until now, we have seen growth in all the markets wherever we have. The first quarter this year compared to the corresponding quarter last year, we have seen a growth of around 15.6%. The fourth quarter last year compared to the corresponding fourth quarter, we have seen a growth of around 13 to 14%. And the major growth is basically in those pockets where we have taken up this exercise. Why? Because if you look at the top achievers flying in a Crown Ambassador, it is going to motivate the next line of people, and they also want to become a Crown Ambassador. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the freedom, but it's also about showcasing, like, I have achieved something, I have come from nowhere to somewhere in this business. Yeah. So this is more of a marketing tool rather a luxury statement. So our goal is to maximize the company's revenue, grow the company's revenue, maximize the profits for our shareholders through this private jet in the coming months and years. So that's why I'm saying it's a misconception for the market. People do take it in a wrong sense. It is basically as a marketing tool to maximize the business.
I see. How does one become a Crown Ambassador?
Crown Ambassador is at different levels of growth in this company. You start as a distributor. There are like 23 stages of growth in this company. So you start as a distributor, then you make a certain production in your group, you have a lot of people doing. So you achieve points actually. Once you achieve a certain level of points, you come up to the level of Star Agent, then you go to Star Ruby, then you go to Star Diamond. Then you have Senior Diamond, Double Diamonds, and eventually you become Crown Diamond. And then Senior Crown, Double Crown, and go to the Crown Ambassador level.
Okay.
So among those 20 million distributors we have only 73 Crown Ambassadors.
Okay.
And many of them are in the pipeline to become the next Crown Ambassadors. And I'm sure with all this exercise that we are doing, setting up a beautiful corporate office here, I hope you have seen our office already.
Yeah.
So what is your impression about the corporate office of DXN?
It's just like the motto, one dragon.
One dragon.
Everything is
everything.
one.
So
yeah.
we do have a miniature of the production of spirulina, of the production of Ganoderma to showcase what DXN is doing on global stage. This is definitely going to inspire a lot of people. Then this private jet exercise, and it's going to inspire a lot of people to gear up and to expand their business faster and to achieve the levels in the company. So it's all basically a business initiative taken by the company.
Right. So how much sales does a Crown Ambassador need to do to achieve that status?
Crown Ambassador need to develop 20 Star Diamond lines under them, 20 lines of Star Diamond. Every Star Diamond need to have at least 6 Star Agents in their group.
Okay.
So that's how the level goes. And every Star Agent need to produce a certain level of production in order to achieve the level of Star Agents.
Right.
So it's a process actually. I mean, normally it takes around 10 years to 12 years for a person. If the person stays focused, they achieve the level of Crown Ambassador.
Okay.
Level of Crown Ambassador is a title, but most importantly, it's also achieving freedom in life, financial freedom, health freedom, freedom to travel, freedom to do anything in this world,
Nice.
So all these things.
Right. Just now we briefly mentioned about dividend, right? You pay out like over 50% of your profit as dividend, which translates to around 7%. At the same time, I see that you put in a lot of money to do all this R&D, all these investments, come up with new product lines and stuff. How do you balance between all these expansion plans and rewarding shareholders?
Our philosophy is very straightforward, So we reward our shareholders today while building for tomorrow. Our focus in DXN is to make the business sustainable. Meaning to say, DXN is a company with a big global presence. It's not just in Malaysia. If we're only dependent on the facilities in Malaysia, we might end up in a huge crisis because we are a global company. So the goal of DXN is to make the business sustainable, localized. In the last 4 to 5 years time, we have established 11 factories around the world. We have established factories in India, we have established facilities in China, we have established factories in Dubai, in Bangladesh, Nepal. And now we are going forward from here to establish new factories in Morocco for the North African market. We are going to set up a new establishment of factories in Peru, South America, then in Bolivia, and going forward we are also planning to set up in Saudi Arabia, Guyana, Brazil. By doing so, we are able to make the business localized. We are able to reduce the impact of forex losses. We are going to reduce substantial cost and by sourcing out the raw materials locally for the factories. And we are going to maximize the profits for the company, and we'll be able to continue paying a good dividends to our shareholders. Right? So that's the plan for us going forward. We do have sufficient, because we are a vertically integrated company, with a very good balance sheet, we have good fund reserves. So we try to invest our own fund into the growth and expansion, but make sure that we are able to also pay good dividends to our shareholders as well. So the initiative here is basically to make the business sustainable. So in order to make sure that we continue paying good dividends to our shareholders. So that's why I'm saying, we reward our shareholders today while building for tomorrow in DXN. So that's a straightforward principle that we have.
Okay. Just now I heard you say that the company has a good balance sheet, right? So in terms of cash position, and then you say you want that sustainability and all that, can I get an understanding of what is the cash position right now in the company? Do you have like borrowings?
No. We are we do have a good cash position at the moment. Last financial year, we have declared around 672 million as a cash and cash equivalents we have.
Wow, that's a lot of cash.
Yeah, located in various overseas markets in dollars as well as in other currencies, including Malaysian currencies as well. So we are a very sound company here when it comes to finance actually.
Okay.
And we are able to manage the resources. Now we have allocated a certain fund for investment as capex for this year and next actually. This is going to be spread out in the next 2 to 3 years time to carry out all these initiatives.
Okay, there's a saying among retail investors that if a company can pay good dividend, generally they are already mature. You don't expect a lot of growth, it's just smooth sailing. Do you think that is a fair statement to put that statement on DXN?
No,
today?
that is not a fair statement when it comes to DXN.
Right.
What would be a fair statement when it comes to DXN? Basically, this is a company that is looking into growth and expansion and make the business more resilient and promising in the future. If an investor wants to understand DXN, they should understand DXN. What is this company doing now? As I said, we have around 596 products in our portfolios.
Yep.
Out of this 596, 80 products was introduced last year. We have 60 more products lined up to be launched by this year and next year. We are now expanding into new markets. So it's not just we are just sitting on the existing markets and trying to maximize the profits. No, we are now expanding new markets. Recent markets that we expanded is in Argentina, Brazil, Egypt. Now new markets we are going to enter would be in Chile, Algeria, Tunisia, Ghana, Zambia, and of course we also expanded to other European markets like UK, Germany, Netherlands. We have recently expanded also. So the investors should look at like, where is this company going from here? Is this company just sitting on whatever they have done in the past and trying to rebuild their future? No, we are actually redefining the future for the people. Argentina, Brazil is going to follow the same pattern that of Peru. If they haven't heard about Peru, they should look at how Peru is stable. But most importantly, they should look at Argentina is coming up just like Peru. Maybe it's going to be even bigger. Okay. Brazil is the largest economy in the Latin America. I mean, it has the country with the largest population. It is a country with years and years. I mean, the most experienced direct selling country in the whole Latin America. And DXN is already there and we are doing good. So more products comes in and the market will thrive. And I'm sure in the coming years, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, these are going to be the top markets besides Peru, Bolivia and other existing markets as well.
Those are the growth drivers of the
growth
company.
drivers of this company, yes.
In the next 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years time.
Okay, interesting. All right, so DXN started business in 1993. That's more than 30 years ago. Then it got listed, but subsequently it got privatized in year 2011. Then in 2023, it got relisted again. Looking at the shareholding structure, right, Dato' Lim and his family still hold a big chunk of the whole share. So how do you evaluate the corporate governance of the company after all these corporate exercises?
In DXN, we have built a multi-layered framework that scales with us. We have set a global oversight while focusing on the local accountability as well. At the top, we have a board, with a majority who are independent directors, who sets the tone and standards, for the company. We do have robust policies, which we have implemented in all the operational units around the world. We do have independent checks and verification, for all the material contracts, for any transaction that is a related party transactions, and we do have independent checks and verifications placed on this. That is all carried out, and it's part of the compliance procedures. We are strictly maintaining that. And apart from that, we have continuous training and enhancement for the management and for the distributors throughout the world as well. So these are the certain framework that we have implemented, in DXN globally. And that is something that we stand by. This is what it is all about when it comes to corporate governance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Prajith. But one last question before I let you go, right? In one sentence, what would you say to new investors who never heard of DXN before as to why they should keep an eye on DXN now? To
let you know that DXN is the only, not just Malaysian, only Asian company that has taken this initiative. And we are very proud of that. And I want all of you to know, and let's look forward to doing that. I mean, we are a very responsible manufacturing company, not just in Malaysia, but throughout the world as well.
Right.
So looking at all these things, I believe DXN is a good investment for you, and I want all of you to come forward and invest into DXN. We can all, look to a brighter future in the coming years.
Okay.
So thank you.
Right. So there's good growth, there's good dividend.
Right.
It's also a very ESG conscious company for everyone to look at.
Right.
So I help you to summarize into one sentence. Thank you very much, Mr. Prajith. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
So DXN is a cash generative, dividend paying, international growth company. It's not very often that you find a 30-year-old company that is still expanding into countries like Brazil, Argentina, China, and places like that. Most of the time, they are already mature and just give out decent dividends. And note that despite the strong fundamental, the company is still under the radar, meaning not many people are looking at the company. Anyways, I hope that through this interview, you know a little bit more about DXN Holdings. If you like today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe the video and stay tuned for more videos like this. See you in the next video.